But that's kind of an day or something.
Oh, good idea.
Yes, live. Yes, right. All right. All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:33 and I'm going to call the governance committee meeting with the Albany Water Board to order. It's Friday, April 24th. And for roll call, we're going to continue. I like the efficiency of just going around the room and speaking to the owl. I guess I'll check.
I'm Chuck Colton, Chairman.
Rachel Johnson, committee chair.
Wilson, co-acting commissioner.
I'm Bill Kahn, rate consultant.
Sarah Carroll, Human Resources Generalist.
Steve Mercier, marketing communications.
Laura Gulfo, council.
Chris Powers, chief fiscal officer.
Anthony Owens, committee member.
Mike Franchini, board member. Karen Wilkes, project coordinator.
Hi, please, chief accountant.
Thank you, everyone. And all right, so item 3 is approval of the minutes for the March 27th governance committee meeting. And if there's no objections, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve those minutes without reading them.
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next one is board strategic plan. I did take notes down last meeting, really good input from everybody. And Bill, I wanted to make mention that I did pull open the budget document and peruse through, and I don't think that there's any gaps. I think that it's really quite consistent. So thank you for that too.
That's what we said we were gonna do with the budget.
Yes, yeah, it was a good exercise, and I was happy that we did it independently, but came to the same overall strategy. So that was a good thing that I wanted to record that I had done. I think we have one. That is Michael's suggestion after the April meeting. And it was specific to solar. During your review prior to this meeting, did anyone have any other comments in addition to that one? Okay.
I'd like to say something about this whole process, and I want to formally, I think we should thank Joe D and how right we know. Yeah, because he really got us started on this. But when the three of us were first on the board, well, I could have done this, but we couldn't. 4 or 5 years ago, we couldn't have written this document. That's how much we've learned and how far we've traveled. And I think it's really turned out very, very well and very helpful, and we can post it on the members page. And if we ever get a new board member, it'll make it a lot easier for the new board member comes on. But thank you, Rachel, for chairing this and working it through. It's really a good document. And we have to review it every year, the way we do the other ones, but I hope they're there.
And so this last bullet, do we don't need to massage it one more time to make specific examples, or do we feel like proactively integrate new technology such as electrical equipment?
And what you would like?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I do too.
We can massage it again next year.
We know what I mean.
All right, sounds good. Then I guess, and then I'll leave that to you, Karen. We can post that, and I think it should probably go on our outward public facing. Yeah.
Should we share it with the senior managers?
Yep.
Bill, would that be all right?
Sure.
Okay. Do that. Follow up with you.
Well, plan on that, great. All right, next we'll just do quick status updates before moving on to the finance committee. So Laura, can I turn this over to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So last month we had a governance committee meeting during which I gave an update on the internal controls and work that Louise and Chris have been doing on it, and myself as well. I was just chatting with Chris about it, and it sounds like
Yeah, I can jump in quick.
Yeah.
The goal was to actually have that completely done by this meeting, and we essentially do. But the thought was, when we've been dealing a lot with City Hall with their implementation of the ERP, and a lot of things cycle wise, control wise are changing on their side that would reflect this document. So we're waiting till we get some finalization on some approval process on their side, and some other things, frankly. to finalize that document. So we have it, it's ready to go. I think I mentioned this before, but it's an important document. We send this to our auditors before they come here. They read that. And based upon their 2 years of being here and their assessment of our internal controls, that dictates their testing. So we want them to do less testing, realign our controls, make that document as accurate as possible. And at this point, with some of the flux going on and how much we depend on City Hall for our payment system, it behooves us to get that right. So we're working on it. I'll promise it for the next, so without question by the next meeting, because the auditors, when we'll get to that, we'll be here before that. So we have to have this wrapped up, hell or high water, over the next couple of weeks, but that's the delay on that, and
And I think
Yeah.
I'll just also mention that it was a staff and board initiative taken, it's not in response to the audit. So,
yeah, it's not response to anything, we're just trying to get ahead of it. That's very, yeah. Being an auditor 20 years ago, this was a very important document. So but it's in the right direction. I think we've got it pretty vetted, and we'll get it to you as soon as we have it done.
Let's send it out ahead of time too, if you.
No problem, yeah, absolutely,
Next week or the week after or something, yeah.
definitely, it's a good idea, Jim.
and, I had an update from our staff about some other policies that will be under review over the next few months, not necessarily ready for board action. I'll speak a bit to each of them, and then if anyone else, like Reeve or Chris or Bill have any thoughts about it, I'll to chime in, but senior discount program, if you recall, we worked on this extensively last year to make sure that we're getting data over to the assessor's office in time for those properties that maybe were entitled to a senior discount previously, but then now are not, and any changes that might occur. So I think with respect to that program, we're not quite sure if a change needs to occur within the policy itself, but rather maybe an operational sort of make sure that we have on the ground our staff getting the data over to auditor, or I'm sorry, the assessor's office. Any other thoughts on that?
I think the assessor thought that maybe the policy might need to be modified.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether, because I think the assessors, I think we were proposing that once a year, that would be a change. But the assessors is thinking it might be more often than that, so.
Oh, I see.
I think I
Okay.
think the intention we had with the policy was once a year, we wipe everybody off. And
Yeah,
then we put on the people that actually get qualified
right,
through the tax assessor for that discount. And I'm not sure that our staff would mind that, because that would mean that it rolled in over 12 months rather than
right,
it hit all at once, but it might make a difference to how we describe it.
okay, understood.
I probably ought to announce, I talked to Trey Kingston, the assessor, and you remember Trey when he worked with us. He's gonna be leaving the assessor's office on the 1st of July. He's gonna stay through this year's assessment, and then he's been hired by Harrison Beach to be a lawyer. He said he got an offer, he just couldn't refuse. It was, and so we'll miss him. And he knows we're working on this, so
Great,
it's fine.
yeah,
He'll help us any way he can, he said.
Right.
And that's why he's staying till the first. They wanted to get him now, but he said, no, he had too many things going on. Stay, so it's another problem for the mayor. They've got to hire somebody.
yeah.
Is the senior discount program impacted by income?
Yes.
It is, yes.
So it's not
Age.
really senior as much as income. Oh,
Income and age,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and it's a tiered thing where depending on the income, it reduces.
right,
And so our policy has to be tied to whatever changes in percentages and income levels change over time.
also change in ownership of property too, is something that is looked at. So I think the idea is that we would be providing information that we have about the user of the system to the assessor's office, and then they will be able to square it up if there actual fits within that.
Yeah.
exempt,
And
Yeah.
properties that have to drop off at the time of the sale
right,
until the next cycle.
it was right. So there's a little bit of work that coordination that needs to be done between our two offices. Yeah, right, it's,
A process that we're trying to figure
it
out, right?
is, yeah, and just how to capture it in policies so that it's clear, but also not too granular, leaves room for some,
Right.
And then the next two policies sort of go together, water bill forgiveness program and water bill modification program. I don't have too much to say about either one just yet. I think it was flagged and we flagged this back in our annual review last year. Okay, remember taking a look at these and saying, well, we might want to think about combining these or at least providing clarification about which controls in which circumstance, because just something we need to take a look at. And then installation of yard hydrants and suspension of billing. I'm not. This is something we'll be looking at. Bill, I don't know if you have more context for me on this one.
Yeah, I think, there was some sort of a contract between, the city and, what's that, I forget the name of the, outfit. For me, for doing the community gardens. And, that ran out.
Or Roots, was it Roots?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roots.
And we also had set up this program, like, and included the rate schedule, like. And so we have private individuals asking us about putting in yard hydrants into vacant lots. And I'm not interested in having that happening. Yeah, if we're gonna put in a meter to a property, it should be into a real building with heat and all that stuff, and not something that gets turned on and off and it's subject to get freezing and problems every year. And something that we, hard to administer from across the national control program. So, we want to, I guess, continue to have that for city properties, requests for city properties that have.
The community gardens.
Yeah,
That's what they are, yeah.
that,
I don't know how many there are, quite a few, aren't there?
there's quite a list, that's a page long, I think, but. And even that's a lot of work for our guys to have to make sure that they're properly winterized every year and aren't to source a lot of service leaks in the winter time. And so that's what I want to do.
Was this the policy that also required that the entity be nonprofit?
Yeah, and there's another thing about policing a property if it changes hands or what could happen. And we have it in a great structure of like $3,000, like we're gonna put it in. But we would really prefer that we just did like service caps, like, hey, if you wanna put it in, you'll have to do it with your own contractor, we'll just, yeah. You'll just be involved for the service cap.
Or we can come back to that.
Yes, back to that, to have recommendation for the board.
So that brings us to the next point, which is a discussion of whether we need another governance committee meeting. The next one is scheduled for November. I believe that the internal controls, if that's available for the next meeting, could probably be at the regular meeting. Yeah, unless we feel like we need additional discussion.
That's fine. I think-
Yeah, the board agrees also. So then we wouldn't need an additional meeting for that. For the next ones, I don't know the time sensitivity for those. It seems like we could review them at the November meeting. Or do they need to be?
Maybe if we get them early, we can
Just
decide
let's,
to have one in July or August,
That'd be good
when we're ready.
if it's something that affects the rate schedule, like as soon as it gets ahead of the rate schedule.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The rate determination.
What I can do is, if we don't, if we're not good, it doesn't sound like we'll have a governance committee meeting for May. So I will add that to my council report for the regular meeting. Also kind of give an update.
Okay,
Yeah,
and then if we do choose to have it, another meeting for additional discussion,
Right.
and then
right.
decide that in May.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
that sounds great. Everyone, sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
All right, any need for executive session? I have none, I hear none. Any new business, additional business? No, then the next meeting for governance shall be November 20th, 2026, unless we change our minds and make couple of notifications. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn? Stephanie, that's all in favor of that?